Hello and welcome to the Climbing Daily Friday Gear Show. On today's show we are talking about quick draws, something that's at the heart of every rope climber's rack. I'm going to take you guys through the different types of quick draws that are available on the market and help you decide which is the best for you. Generally, quick draws can be split into three categories. So there are sport climbing draws, trad climbing draws, all-around draws, and alpine draws, which sort of come into the trad climbing draw category. Now, full disclosure, I honestly reckon getting a set of all-round draws is the best way to go, especially if you're just starting out in the sport. For example, I bought this old Black Diamond Positron draw about 6 years ago when I started, and I've used them ever since. So let's start with all-around quick draws. Quick draws come with either a wire gate like this, or a solid gate like this. Now, there isn't a huge amount of difference between them, and generally it's down to personal preference of what you prefer clipping. The wire gates tend to be a little bit lighter, but maybe less durable, whilst a solid gate is a bit stronger, but on the counter side, a little bit heavier. One of the problems with these wire gates is it can snag. See, there's this little kind of protruding bit of carabiner which locks in the wire gate. This is a bit of an issue when you're cleaning a route. Now, manufacturers are getting around that by putting key lock technology in. So this Alpha Light draw, you can see there's not that snaggy bit. And then this Black Diamond hood wire draw, I have to remember the name then, they've got over the problem with this extra little bit of metal here that again takes away that snagging issue. So all-around quick draws tend to be about 12 centimeters in length. They have a medium thickness dog bone in the center so you can grab it in an emergency situation. And the carabiners themselves tend to be quite large. And personally with the Positrons, I've actually used them with gloves and they're absolutely fine to clip with. So this is an example of an all-round quick draw, and I'll put on screen the new updated Positron quick draws, and in the copy below you can buy some all-round ones as well. Now, the thing with all-round quick draws, although they cover lots of different aspects of the sport, they aren't specialised, and you are going to notice some failings if you're climbing high-end sport or high-end trad climbing. So without further ado, let's look at sport climbing quick draws. Sport climbing draws are designed to take a lot of abuse. They have to stand up to multiple red point falls, and they tend to be left in routes for longer periods of time. Durability is key. Now, sport climbing and trad climbing specific draws tend to be more expensive than their all-around counterparts. That's because they are designed to do different jobs, and that inevitably puts a bit of cost on them. So here is a sport climbing draw. This is the Wild Country Proton. It's got a massively wide dog bone so you can grab onto it. This is really useful when you're working a sport climbing route. There might be a hard section, you need to reach up, pull on a bolt and make a clip. The carabiners are really nice and big, so easy to grab and clip. And you can see they're different color coordinated for the bolt end and the rope end. The draws themselves are ergonomically designed, so they feel great in your hand. And you can see there's this bent gate on the rope end, so you can easily, if I turn it this way, you can easily push a rope inside it. It kind of helps with the clipping process. Another option is this Singing Rock Colt quick draw. Again, wide dog bone, ergonomically designed, big carabiners. Now, sport quick draws tend to be a little bit heavier, but that doesn't really matter. Often you'll place these draws whilst working a route, so they're in place, ready for that all-important red point send. Okay, on the opposite side of the spectrum is trad climbing specific quick draws. Trad climbing draws are designed to be lightweight, streamlined, and take up as little room as possible on your harness. For a trad climb, you're often carrying loads and loads of gear, so every gram you can save counts. They're not quite as durable as a sport climbing draw because generally you tend to fall off on trad routes less. Falling off is a last desperate measure. You want to be looking at something like this DMM Alpha Light quick draw. It's only 73 grams, has a 12 centimeter dog bone. The dog bone itself is a little thinner than on the sport draws, and the carabiners are a little bit smaller. That's because generally you clip them in a more stable position than on a sport route, so you don't need them to be massive and wide. These have wire gates, but it has that clean nose technology stuff that we talked about earlier, so the rope doesn't snag on it when clipping. Another option is the Petzl Angle Finesse draw. This is even lighter, only 63 grams, has a tiny little carabiner and this quite unique gate locking system thing. I don't really know what it's called. But yeah, a good option if lightweight is everything to you. Now, I mentioned how alpine draws are a little bit different, and that's because generally they're the same kind of idea as trad climbing draws, but they have a slightly bigger gate. That's so you can open them up with gloves. You don't need to faff around with kind of getting your gloves caught within a carabiner. So this is the Climbing Technology Flyweight Alpine Draw. And as you can see, there's a sling in the middle rather than the traditional dog bone, and this extends. So you just simply clip this to your piece of gear and then extend it out like that. Extendable quick draws are fantastic for routes that sort of meander all over the place and you want to avoid rope drag. So it's worth having a few of these in your harness, kind of regardless of what type of climbing you do. Now you can make your own by buying a sling and carabiners and just creating it, but buying these ready-made sets are a little bit cheaper actually, so in my opinion, definitely worth doing. So there you go, a look at the main types of quick draws, and hopefully that will help you decide what you need for the type of climbing you do. If you're starting out, get an all-round set. They'll do you really well for most types of climbing. But if you know you're just going to be climbing sport climbing or just going to be trad climbing, then look at those special quick draws because they will make a big difference to the way you climb and the way they perform. Finally, all of the quick draws I've shown you today will be in the copy below, and you can buy them as individuals or as in sets like this Okun Kestrel set. Sets tend to be cheaper and you get between 5 and 6 depending on the set, so it's a good way of building up your collection quickly. That's all we've got time for today. Thanks for watching The Gear Show, thanks for watching Climbing Daily this week, and I'll see you next week.